Today, I'm going to be talking about transferable skills and how that can assist you, especially if you're a career transitioner, to transition into the tech space, because that's essentially another trick or skill, rather, that I use to transition into the tech space. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jennifer. I am a full time data analyst and full time IT baddie. And on this channel, we talk about all things tech related, tech advice, vlogs, and all the nice things. So if you are new here and you haven't subscribed, make sure to do the subscribing, the liking, and all of the nice things as we get into today's lesson. So I see a common question that usually comes up in my DMs and also in my comments on TikTok, thinking that you need to really start over with a computer science degree in order for you to get into data analysis or various tech roles, which couldn't be further from the truth, to be honest. What you need to do in this instance, if you come from like a very different background, whether you did a different job or you come from like a science background like I did, because I did a molecular biology and biotechnology degree, you need to find the commonalities between your job, your degree, and what the job description is looking for in the relevant tech role that you're looking for. In this instance, I'm going to be talking about data analysis because that's essentially my role, and that's how I transitioned into the tech space, by looking at these commonalities. And it's very important for you to find these commonalities, because when you get into interviews with hiring managers and recruiters, the first thing that they're going to ask you is, why did you, with your science degree or your commerce degree or whatever the case may be, apply for this specific role? And those commonalities that you have from your previous job or your previous degree are going to show the bridge between you and the job that you are looking for in tech. So I'm going to use data analysis as an example because I already transitioned into tech as a data analyst, right? In my degree, I learned about statistics, I learned about mathematics, I learned about using Excel, using Python, and using PowerPoint presentation, because basically when I would do research projects and I would present them to my professor at the time, I would have to go ahead and collect data, refine the data. After making the data more refined, I would have to draw conclusions and then present that to either the tutor, which we would call a demi at Stellenbosch. So I'd have to present that to the demi so that they can mark my findings and draw a conclusion from that. That whole process is data analysis. So when somebody or recruiter or a hiring manager is going to ask you, what commonalities do you have between this job and your degree, that is how you're going to present yourself and sell yourself, so that they can trust that, oh, okay, you're not necessarily starting from zero. You do have context as to like what data analysis is. You do have tools that you are going to use in this specific job, and we can take a chance on you. That's essentially how you're going to sell yourself. And there is a lot of commonalities that a lot of these tech jobs are looking for that are very important when you are applying for these roles. So you're not starting from zero. So for example, when you take those research projects that I mentioned previously and you present it to a professor or you present it to your classmate, that is stakeholder management. That is you presenting to a stakeholder your findings. And that is a very important skill that is needed in data analysis, because half of your job is going to be creating a dashboard. After making those findings, you're going to have to present it to the stakeholders so that they can draw conclusions off of that. So there's a lot of things besides the technical skills, like the soft skills. If you were in any leadership positions or you were in any roles that needed you to be customer facing, for example, that is another soft skill that is needed in the tech space, especially in data analysis. So you need to find these commonalities between whatever tech role you're applying for and you want to transition to, and you need to make it such that like the recruiter or the hiring manager can see that you're not starting from zero, and that you will be able to bridge the gap pretty quickly and you'll be teachable. Also, another tip that I can add is that even if you see on job descriptions that they will say, when it comes to the degree specifically, that they want computer science, mathematics, statistics, or related, that shouldn't stop you from applying just because you have an unconventional degree. Usually they put that HR normally puts that there because it's just the standard thing that like most job descriptions in tech have, but that doesn't mean that they will not take a chance on you if you have an unconventional degree like myself. So you should just keep on trying, and remember that like there's another human at the end of that CV or that application, right? So if you position your application and your CV correctly, and you show them that like you've done projects, you have like the transferable skills from your degree, you have done certifications and all of that, a lot of these recruiters and hiring managers will look at your degree and it will actually seem as something special, and they will give you a chance to interview. And that's when you start selling yourself, because the moment you get the interview, you need to start selling yourself as to why you're the best candidate despite you being different from everybody else. And I think that's all I have for today. I wanted to keep this one relatively short because I think I will be expanding on this topic in the future on my page, but this will just be a starter. But like I mentioned, if you have not subscribed, your homework is going to be to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and do all the nice things until I see you on the next episode.